What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is Season 4, Week 4 of the Champions League, and that is how we are kicking off this week. We've got 12 teams here who have all battled 4 times already this season, and they have 7 more battles to go. Obviously, we will see one of them from each team this week. So, kicking off the standings here, we have Maverick in first place with a 4-0 record, coach of Symphony of the Knights, just demolishing up to this point, looking very, very impressive. Turambar and MacRain also doing quite well for themselves at a 3-1 record. Jesus, ReadyPlayerWill, MaechenX, SurfTaco, and Sandrooster all tied at 2-2. So these standings are incredibly tight all the way down, especially considering the fact that we have 4 1-3 teams. Nobody has not gotten a win yet, and that's not surprising as this Champions League is full of really, really great players. So I'm looking forward to this video and looking forward to how the rest of the season shakes out, because top 6 make the playoffs, and it'll be really, really interesting to see who ends up there. But before we check out the battles, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to all the YouTube members. Thank you to all of these amazing people who spend some of their hard-earned money to support the channel. Without further ado, guys, let's check out the fights. Kicking off week number 4, guys, we've got Coppola, coach of Sword and Sorcery Mercenaries, heading up against JB79 and the Paranoid Androids, both teams looking to try and get their second win of the season, as JB79 running a team of Dario Horn, Summer Killfan, Yuffie. Not entirely sure what the synergy is there amongst the comp, but I'm here for it. I'll have to see how it plays out here. On the other side on Coppola, it's a little more obvious, obviously with the support, tank, and damage dealer, a couple of those units being Sword Knight class and the Mace, have a couple of job VCs that go well together. As the Keenblade coming out, Dario's going to walk forward. Calamity Guard comes through for Katia, and I expect JB's team to act next with that Keenblade CT up. That is going to be the Brumal form. So unless you have guaranteed hits, this Yuffie is going to dodge probably pretty much everything here. Call of the Wild getting refreshed for a second time for Summer Killfan means Arrowgut Blade will start this fight off. It will remove the buff, which is nice for getting hate removal, but good lord, this Squall is coming to play. 10,000 damage from the Squall onto the Dario is a hell of a way to start this fight for Coppola here. Katia, will she go offensive? Does she have damage spells going? No, she's just going to go for the Calamity Guard refresh. So that one-hit barrier onto everybody here. Engelbert shouldn't have a ton of hate at the moment, though, as the Blinding Trinity comes through. The blind does not land. I believe Blinding Trinity is only a 25% chance, as the Vampiric Ripper does a little bit of damage, but probably not as much as JB would wish for. Arrowgut Blade, though, a nice little slash chain has been started, but the Chakra comes out from Engelbert. You've got to be kidding me. That is brutal for JB. A full heal and regen. Who needs Katia to heal when your tank can do it here, as the Blasting Zone gets dodged by the Yuffie, but does take out the tank. Coppola up to a 3v2 advantage at this moment, and Katia, what is she going to do? Calamity Guard for a 3rd time. Hey, 3rd time's the charm, I guess. Let's just use this buff over and over and over. As Blinding Trinity comes through again, no blind again. I imagine there probably is a 25 blind resistance Trust Stone on the side. Actually, you know what? I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure Calamity Guard nullifies blind is. Good lord, Squall just murders Summer Killfan again. This Squall is popping off, and this Engelbert, with limited movement and a dead body in his way, he can't really do anything except heal his entire team. This positioning is just working out perfectly for Coppola. It's literally just Squall one-shotting people and the other 2 units just healing to full constantly. As Blinding Trinity comes out for a 3rd time, the same ability on both sides has basically been used infinite times, and that's pretty much how this battle is going to go here, as Engelbert is full health, is going to Chakra again. Oh my goodness. This is a wild fight. Like, if units could only use one ability in more of the divisions and they can never use a second ability, that's what this fight is. As Drain Zone finally comes out from Yuffie, so finally a second ability comes out from her, but she's fresh out of AP. She's currently sitting at 10 right now. And yeah, with all those status nullifications, I'm sure that's why that blind was not going off. As the Protect comes out from Squall, nobody could hit this Yuffie. I don't know. I don't even think the guaranteed hit nullification is there anymore. But I wonder, does Squall have enough AP for his guaranteed hit? Did he use it already? I think Blasting Zone might be the guaranteed hit, so maybe he doesn't have uses left. But it's a situation where there's no way this Yuffie is going to kill everybody. We've got 11 actions left. The only question is, do they end up actually making contact with this Yuffie, or do they just win on turns? And based on the fact that Squall is using the King Bradley TMR, I think we know the answer to that question. The Erase Bright Ward will come out. Windstorm comes through. This does have the elevated blind chance, but again, a Nullify is a Nullify. And this setup by Coppola is just perfectly countering what JB brought to the table. I thought it was a really cool team that JB brought out with the Dario, Summer, Kilfe, and Yuffie. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the synergy is, but it's very, very cool regardless. I wish I would have liked to see, or I would have liked to see it do a little bit more damage here, but just never got that opportunity from a team building masterclass for Coppola here. Race Brightward is going to come out, and I'm going to stall shoutcast this as long as I possibly can, as there are 3 actions left. Yuffie trying her damnedest to pull off this 1v3. She's sitting here thinking, we could play this game for 8 million years and you will never hit me, and somehow I'm still going to lose. But that's the way she goes sometimes, as Coppola picks up the victory on turns, a 3v1 health advantage. Huge congrats to Coppola, and GG to both players. Second battle of week 4 is going to kick off, guys, and we've got MaechenX, coach of House Shoopuf growing strong, versus the Fire Ferrets, El Clasico, coach of Turambar. 2 long-time WDL veterans going up against each other. Should be interesting. This is that King Mont Team R being used by Winter Rabbies. So it looks like hella AoE resist on the side of Turambar here, along with a number of other buffs that Valade gives to the party. Howlet the Heavens Blade says, I'm not messing around with this buffing nonsense. Magia Arte right out of the gate. Let's just start off the fight with a limit break. 2700 damage, though, is not a ton, as that is an AoE attack, I believe. And obviously that increased AoE resistance is doing work for Winter Rabbies. Ice Prison is coming out the gate, too. So MaechenX ain't playing around this week. Double limit break to start. All attack resistance down on the Winter Rabbies. Though I will say, she's doing a damn good job of tanking this up. Cecil will finally be the first unit on Machen's side to give a buff to the party, and that means everybody on that side has a 3-hit physical barrier. So will Winter Rabbies go for a limit break if she gets an opportunity, or will she go for the barrier break? Stunning Thrust comes through, 1600 damage, not a whole lot. Fryabe tanking up quite nicely, as that is the Great Slash. I believe that is the barrier break. So instead of the limit break, opting for that to get rid of that 3-hit barrier here, as the Chicken Blade dropping Bravery is an excellent tech by Machen, turning off some of those long-range abilities to try and drop Bravery from this physical team, as Howlet deals the punishment out on Turambar's team. These 2 units are very, very low health, but the double stun from Glassy could be the difference here. Reckoning of Light comes through. No Courage ever got online for Rabbies here, though, so she is going to fall. Will these 2 stunned units be the difference, though, as Valade is going to go for your Curata here? Obviously, Rabbies falling. This is a bit unfortunate for Turambar. He does have full life in his kit, though, so can he bring Rabbies back at some point? As those turns, the stun turns go away, obviously they save a little bit of CT because they don't actually have to act or move. They become unstunned, take a little bit of damage. Howlet is going to drop from Glassy here, and now this is in 2v2. Reckoning of Light actually hits the Valade, interestingly enough. I don't think he must not have ever used his buff that gives him hate down, as he is now the target instead of Glaciella, and that is bad news for Turambar here, as Spellveil Blade going to do about 3000 damage. I don't think Valade is low enough to proc his own heal, so he might go for a full life here, I would think. That is exactly what's happening. The full life whiffs, though. That is a bit of a shocker. I do wonder, probably going up against a somewhat magic team from Machen, Turambar might have brought the Faith down on Winter Rabbies to try and mitigate some of that magic damage, but Cecil is going to clean up the support. Chicken Blade again, Bravery down onto the Glaciella coming out from Machen, and Glaciella is a great unit. She is an OG unit, but she has got her work cut out for her. This limit break is fantastic, though. It also gives her AP restore, which means 28 she started with on the turn, she's now going to have AP. She should have enough to actually get some abilities off. Cecil will not, though, which means he's going to go Devoted Bastion, which actually helps Machen out quite a bit. 3-hit barrier onto both units now, and that is why Glaciella looks like is using triple Piercer to try and eat through that here. The Spellveil Blade, enough. 1200 damage, 12 actions left, and I just don't see Glaciella getting through these units, as Cecil is actually putting in some work this fight, and that is pretty cool to see as a unit we almost never see in PvP in general, as triple Piercer comes out again, interestingly enough, and it looks like Freyevia is going to end this off with a landslide crash. You can see what MaechenX was thinking in this fight. He was thinking slash resistance and dark and light resistance, more so the light resistance, obviously, because Turambar does have a strong light comp. But GG, excellently played, especially by MaechenX. That physical barrier on the team, that was definitely useful to try and get to Freyevia to use the barrier break instead of being able to use that limit break and kind of mitigate the AP on his side. And obviously, Cecil being able to clean up Winter Ravies on that fight, I think, was a big reason as to why Machen won this. So, as always, well played by both of these players, but a huge congrats to Machen for picking up this win. Fight number 3, guys. We've got ReadyPlayerWill, coach of Fight Club, versus numero 80, coach of the Blind Enthusiast here. And it looks like ReadyPlayerWill is ready to remove any sort of courage that would be on Numero's team, as Resnick is going to come right out of the gate with a Shadow Flare. Oh my goodness, drawing in Urel to the team here. Dispelling Spear Flight will come in for 4,700 damage. This Urel might be dead before she gets to do anything because of that Shadow Flare here. But what I will say is Numero's team never got the buff, and this Resnick takes 7,500 damage. She almost dies to the Edward, just barely lives. Obviously completely calculated by numero 80's side here as the Keen Blade comes out from Surges. Vadim, can he finish off the Urel? No, he is not in range. He's going to go with the Wind Veritas TMR, which could obviously be useful against Ed, who does have an AP auto restore in his kit, but because of that, he only has 3 AP. He does not have enough AP to hit the Resnick, which means she is going to live. And hold on a minute, that Wind Veritas TMR might be the difference in this fight here, as now Edward does have a ton of AP now. Resnick goes for the height 3 Cura. She is now full health, and her surviving just barely from that Edward attack right out of the gate is huge. Glaciella is going to drop the Urel. This is now a massive 3v2 advantage for numero 80, and what could have been disaster right out of the gate is now looking pretty good. But Edward has something to say about it. Good damage onto Vadim. Honestly tanked up decently well by Glaciella, though, who never actually got to use her big old physical barrier buff. As Surge is going to go for the Earth and Glory, lands the slow on Resnick, does get dodged by Vadim, though, so he is still hanging on here. That Thief job putting in work here, as the limit break for Reign of Rallying on Resnick could be massive. This is going to full heal the entire team here, and Glaciella is going to go next. This Surges is not long for this world, I think, unless she can kill Edward instead, but she is not going to. She's just going to standard attack. She just gained 45 AP from that attack. That is absolutely wild. Edward going to go with the full metal fist, and Resnick just taunting him at this point, just barely hangs on again for a second time here, as Glaciella is going to go for the AP Break Lance. Edward is not going to have any AP left for this fight here. He's just going to standard attack, should finally be able to bring the Resnick down here. But man, oh man, this is working out very well for numero 80. He's going to actually pick up the win over ReadyPlayerWill and Fight Club. Very well played. That was a wild fight. I'm sure that that's probably not, I would imagine, what numero 80 was looking for in this fight. I could be wrong. He had heals turned on for Resnick, so I don't think he was looking to just like go straight forward with a Shadow Flare. But that is how the positioning worked out. She, very fortunately for him, just barely hung on from, I think it was the limit break from Ed, and that was the difference in this fight. Because Resnick, without the heals, I'm certain that this fight goes a different way. She full healed the team like twice. So man, absolutely wild fight, but that's the way she goes sometimes, and a huge congratulations to numero 80. All right, guys, next fight up to bat, we've got Sandrooster, of course, the Unicorn Gunfight 2 Electric Boogaloo versus Scarlet Moon Empire, coached by MacRain. And MacRain is rocking a beastly team here. Elda Leonis with his bride, Helena, the black-robed witch, alongside Shouts to support in the back. The Puppet Master limit break coming out right out of the gate to give courage to both Helena and herself, which means if Elda limit breaks, the entire team on MacRain's side will have courage. But this is Get Clucked, the full Mace team coming out from Sandrooster here. Tons of status nullifications, healing power up, and this Mace team It doesn't seem like it would be, but good lord, is it tanky. And I could see basically a battle of attrition, war of attrition on both sides, where it could be very difficult for either team to take out the enemy team. That's kind of what I foresee, but we'll have to see. I will say full magic comp from Sandrooster could be good into the Elda, is what I will say. So we'll have to see. The Ildira's Theorem, though, coming out from Ildira, obviously getting that CT up. Summer Katone should finally kick off this fight, and she's going to go with her swim ring attack here. The limit break. How much damage is it going to do? 2,400 onto Elda, 1,000 onto Helena, but it lands the sleep onto both and says, hey, Helena, your new version that puts everybody else to sleep, I know how to do that too. As Mashri is going to start channeling something, Height to Resistivity comes out. I want to see if Mashri is going to mess up this sleep, or if these other two units will live through it. No, I'm sorry. Actually, Summer Katone's just going to chain with herself here. Man-Eater down, a ton of damage. And Mashri, is she in range to deal damage? Yes, she is. Banishka is going to come out and knock down Elda down to Courage. So what I said before about not being able to deal enough damage, screw what I just said, as Elda is now down to 1 health. Obviously, Beachside Rejuvenation, so a Summer LC TMR use coming out from MacRain, a very cool attack here to get that instant cast ranged heal from Shells. But Helena's going to have to do a lot of damage here to get something done. Obviously, Summer Katone has a lot of AoE resist, but Tenebral Rose drops 50% of whatever their AoE resist is for this attack, but I will say that was still tanked insanely well. I think that Calamity Guard just coming in clutch, as that turned out into, I think, 2,600 and 4,000 damage instead of 5,200 and 8k. So Calamity Guard really the MVP up to this point in this fight, as Broken Sword, Shattered Staves, I believe, Man-Eater down. And we'll have to see. 15 AP left for Summer Katone, though. So as a mage, she does not have much left. Can Mashri kill this Elda, though, or does she go for a heal? No, she's going to go for Knight's Blessing. Helena, Black-Robed Witch, does have Devastation. She does have a Barrier Break in her kit, and I think she's probably going to have to opt into that here. As Ildira should be able to go for damage. Level 4 Water Go is going to come through. Good damage onto both, actually. With Helena not being high on health, her AoE resist is not nearly as high as it normally would be. I think Shell should go for a heal here instead of a full life. And that, I imagine, is what it's going to be. Helena, does she go for the Barrier Break here? I don't know what else she would be considering. I mean, she could go for Black Rose's Hex to just drop Spirit as well. But I imagine with that 3-hit barrier on 2 of these units, she's got to go for that, I would think. Here comes the Black Rose's Hex. I take it back. It's going to hit the entire party. It is not the Barrier Break, and in fact, to make matters worse, the Auto Cure comes out from the Mashri here, and Summer Katone is just going to hit Helena with her stick. She only has 8 AP, so she basically gained nothing from that, as Hallowed Ray, though, does a ton of damage. Ildira might be able to finish her off, or at least proc Courage. I don't think Helena's Courage was ever procced, which is so weird to say that Helena has Courage, but that is what Shells does. Holy Knight Triad going to start a little bit of a Pierce chain, which probably won't get followed up on here. But Helena, unless she could nuke the hell out of this team, which I just don't see, I think it's going to be really, really tough for MacRain to win this here. Obviously, Helena's going to think long and hard about what she wants to do. I imagine it's another Black Rose's Hex, as that's what she went for last time, and it will be exactly that. It does eat some AP, though, so that is big. If Shells can get another heal off, the problem is with 2 units on Sandrooster's team being willing to heal, unless you can like one-shot somebody, it's so hard to get through this team without having massive healing power drops. I think that's the biggest issue, as Sandrooster is in a really good 3v1 situation here. Hallowed Ray comes out for 5,200. Ildira should heal the team, I believe. And then Summer Katone should be able to heal again. I'm sorry, Ildira says, nah, screw that nonsense. I'm just going for some damage. Level 4 Water Gun comes through. Does the CT up on Shells elevate her turn order? Yes, it does. So she might go for one final heal here. Summer Katone with 12 AP. It doesn't matter. She's going to go for the Dark Siren Esper. Lands the Confusion. So whatever spell MacRain's Shells was going for, we will never find out. As she is confused, she is sitting at 1 health. Hallowed Ray will knock her out of her confusion and into the grave. And Sandrooster of Unicorn Gunfight 2, Electric Boogaloo, in similar fashion to what he did in Season 2, has started the season 0-2, has found a team that just seems to run people over and has done work with it 3 fights in a row. He did this with his double Jaden Zazan comp in Season 2. This has now been 3 fights in a row with his Mace comp, and I'm curious to see who has an answer for this team. It did lose once to JesusLBL, but I believe that is due to a buff rotation issue. I think they played a for fun fight after, and he still like hard won that. So whoever is out there in the Champions League that has an answer to this team, I'm curious to see, as Sandrooster is on a hot streak here. But we've got 2 more fights to check out. Let's jump into those. Two more fights that left this week. We've got Ram 9 of the Rock Boys, the Season 2 Grand Champion, versus Maverick, coach of Symphony of the Knights, with their currently 4-0 undefeated streak going on here. We'll have to see who pulls this off. A little bit of a Dark Golem synergy coming out from Maverick's side with Montleonis, Halloween Lucio, and Grifford, as the Win Veritas TMR is going to hit the enemy team from Ram 9's side. And he's rocking the Orin, Gilgamesh, and Halloween Ryryu composition. So if anything, Ram 9 wins the Spice War, I think, here, as I'm curious to see what Gilgamesh and Orin can get done. Keenblade going to come out from the Montleonis, though, getting that CT up. Halloween Lucio going to start this fight off with a bang. King of the Dead going to come out and give himself some haste. So that'll make him very nice and speedy. Along with the Keenblade, this could get very scary for Ram 9's side of Halloween Lucio lapping somebody. I'm looking at the turn order to see if it'll matter. As the Summer Glassy TMR for Grifford, we've seen Maverick use this a couple of times. Obviously, really good against certain elemental advantages, and obviously unit resist is great too. Taunting Blade from Mont means he has a ton of hate, but this is the awesome Flash Limit Break from Gilgamesh. Spirit Bombing Mont, 5,000 damage, not too bad here. But Halloween Ryryu and Orin are going to have to do a ton here to pull this off. Creeping Terror is going to come out. This is a big old Diamond Limit Break. I think it has a chance to poison. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I think it does regardless. I don't know. I'm not 100%. But that is the Vega TMR proccing the Berserk, as Orin is going to clean up the Mont. Ram 9 in a 3v2 advantage, but here come the Axe Bros. Sleeper Sweep comes in, knocks out the Orin, so he lands a kill before he drops. But looking at the turn order, Grifford's going to follow up with a Mortal Draw in this hasted up. Along with the Keen Blade, Halloween Lucio is going to lap, kind of like I mentioned, Dispel Slam for 6,200 damage, removing the Protect from that Vega TMR. And this Lucio is just a mad lad. Spell Breacher's going to miss, and I think he's going to claim another kill. Not quite. He doesn't have the AP for it, so he'll use his own TMR. Grifford with 84 AP, though. Hammer of the War Master going to debuff that AoE resist before the damage. Is it enough to claim the kill? Yes, it is. Halloween Ryryu is going to drop, and man, oh man, is Maverick just putting in work this season on the Champions League. 5-0 to start this season. These Axe units, especially Halloween Lucio, have been really, really impressive up to this point. And similar to what I said against Sandrooster, who's going to have an answer just in general to Maverick, we're going to have to find out. But we've got one more fight, guys. Let's check out the final one. Final fight of the week, guys. We've got SurfTaco and Britney's Spears versus the Strawhats, coached by JesusLBL. And it looks like an Ice Water comp coming out from SurfTaco here with Farm, Raychez, and Jaden the Celebrated. Obviously, Jaden with that massive physical health shield to put in work against, it looks like, Lightning, Sorrow, and Silma. So a couple of Lightning units to go into those water units. A smart bring coming up from Jesus here, and obviously to cover for the water weakness that Pissarro has. The Win Veritas TMR coming out, nerfing some of that AP as well. With Jaden the Celebrated sometimes having AP issues, that could also be a smart use by Jesus here. As the Sharpshoot comes out for 4,200 damage, that's going to start out the fight really nicely for SurfTaco. And I think, to me, the question is the accuracy there from Jesus' side? If it is, I think this is going to be tough sledding for SurfTaco here, honestly, with these two Lightning units into the water units. I could see Lightning putting in work, as Ready to Pursue 2 is here, so her follow-up is ready, and I believe the follow-up automatically lands if her first attack does. Strike of Ruin misses Farm, though, which means these Lightning units might not be accurate enough either. We'll have to see. 50 AP in store for the farm. She goes for a Shadowbind here. That is enough to take out Pissarro here. So 3v2 advantage for SurfTaco right out of the gate. Life Siphon 2, though, is going to hit both. The accuracy there, Pursuit drops 1, Pursuit drops 2, and Lightning from FF13 says, I'll take a double kill and all of my AP back. Thank you very much. And now Jaden the Celebrated is going to have to pull this off to the 1 here as the fast cast, to make matters worse, hastes up the Lightning, which means she is going to go again. Barrier Buster is going to break that 10,000 HP shield. Pursuit does almost nothing this time, as Jaden is obviously much better equipped to fight this Lightning than those 2 water units. But with Magellant's Rain only dealing that much damage alongside a 20 AP nerf, Silma could come in and clean up. Jamming Thrust for 4,300 damage. This is looking very, very good for Jesus to try and pick up this win. 48 AP on Lightning is plenty to do whatever the hell she wants. And what she wants to do is an arm shot and a Pursuit follow-up. That is a dead Jaden. And SurfTaco, our 2-time Grand Champion, is going to drop to JesusLBL and the Strawhats. Hell of a fight and a hell of a Lightning showcase. GG. All right, guys, all the fights in the books for week number 4 of Champions League. So these are the standings heading into week 5. I changed how this tiebreaker column looks. I think this makes a little more sense. Again, this tiebreaker column just means how many wins and losses you have amongst the teams with the same record you have. So these are the standings. Maverick in first place, coach of Symphony and the Knights, 5-0. Just a red hot start to the season. Can anyone take him down? He's got 6 more battles to go. I imagine somebody will be able to beat him at some point, but his team looks terrifying. MaechenX, Turambar, JesusLBL, Sandrooster, and MacRain. 5 different teams all have a 3-2 record at this point. So Maverick has a 2-win head start on that first seed here. But these 5 teams all are sitting at 3-2. MaechenX currently has the best tiebreaker head-to-head of these people. He's only battled one of them, but he won that battle. Whereas Turambar, Jesus, and Sandrooster are all 1-1, and MacRain, unfortunately, is 1-2 amongst those 5 teams. Next up, we have ReadyPlayerWill, Coppola, Numero, and SurfTaco, and in similar fashion, all tied at a 2-3 record. ReadyPlayerWill has actually battled all 3 of the other teams in this little sequence here, and he beat, I believe, Coppola and SurfTaco and lost to Numero 80, so that is where his 2-1 record comes from. SurfTaco has only played ReadyPlayerWill, and obviously Coppola and Numero are both 1-1. Coppola did beat Numero head-to-head, but regardless, that's kind of how I'm showing them in the standings. Last but not least, we have JB79 and Ram9. But the Paranoid Androids and the Rock Boys, both of the Guild Howl, both tremendous players, unfortunately only have 1 loss up to this point in the season. So I know they are feeling the pressure right now because they're really trying to get some more wins to try and make that top 6, try and make the playoffs, and push for a championship. For Ram9, he already has a championship in the books. JB79 finished 2nd overall amongst 40 teams last season, so I know that he is hungering for some more wins. But that is how the standings shake out heading into week 5. We are not quite halfway through the season. 5 battles in the books, but everybody has 11 through the season. So after next week, we will be past the halfway point because next week will be a doubleheader week where everybody has 2 battles. So it should be really interesting. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We'll catch you next time. Have a wonderful day.